stuff, and Renee's going to be talking.
Mime and talking. Okay. Let me
Renee's
mute
talking. I'm doing mime.
you. Well, we're live. We're live right now, so you can
We're live now.
start your miming. I'll leave the room.
I can see you now.
Right? It's really wonderful. Scano, any nice to see everyone. It's been a while since we've been in this little space together. Uh, Many people have messaged to say, "When's tea with Dodo? When is tea with? When do we get to see these beautiful faces?" And on the poster I messaged, I mentioned, how you lift our spirits, and make us feel really good. And I think it's a really good time for this, especially, coming into springtime and, people are starting to get out a little bit more. So it's really great to see you both.
Yes, it is great to be back with our group again. And I know we are always talking about how the Creator has given us so much. And and I think the Creator give us abundance of laughter and joy, because every time we get together, we can't stop laughing. We can't stop. My cheeks get sore just even this initial part of getting together and talking. So, welcome, Neil. It's been a long time.
It, it has been a long time. It has been a very long time, and what we do is, I've been thinking a lot about what the Zoom stuff and all this other stuff that goes on there, and I think it's time that maybe we need to sit down and discuss this situation that the world that we're in now, and start talking openly to other elders regarding some of the teachings from the past, and start thinking about this thing that's happening over across the ocean.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of talk around the prophecies that are beginning to come true. And the one was like, actually what's happening in Ukraine is one of them, more than likely the one that might be the one that they're talking about. But the teaching, the understanding I have of that, what was said is that the war will begin in the Middle East. So
Mhm.
I don't know. It's again, like I said, it's not it's something that we need to maybe discuss and have an open discussion on that one, because we we remember some of the things that were told to us very a long time ago, and I was just very young when I started hearing these prophecies coming from my own people here in my community, and that's what our grandfathers said. They would say, and then they say that the ground is going to shake, and they talk about the shaking ground, and I actually know what those are now. Now that I sit down and sit back and think about those. But then I stopped thinking about those, and I started thinking about the songs. I started thinking about songs and all the people I've met in the past. Oh God, I don't know, maybe since 1995. Well, actually, maybe go back to 1988 when I started my journey on this red road, and I've met a lot of people in that time. I've worked with a lot of people. I think I've helped a few. I'm not sure, because and if I have helped them, they might be still there. But then I think about and then I started thinking about the things that I was told, and the things that I had to be leery of and be watch out for. And they said the good people are the ones that like to laugh a lot. And then when you try and crack out a joke or something and they don't laugh, then that's when you stop and have a good look and back away, right? But me, me, it's different. It's different. When I crack out something and people don't laugh, I just keep right on going, because I don't stop, right? One in that first 5 minutes of contact with another person that I don't know, and they don't seem to want to laugh. Then I'll think of right away. My mind thinks of something to say right away, and all of a sudden you can see the smile starting to come up there. And then all of a sudden I crack out something else. All of a sudden they start laughing, and they then sometimes they come up to me. He says, "I don't know." He says, "I don't understand you." He says, people don't want to laugh, but you make them laugh, and we start laughing. Well, I said, that's the part about it. I said, that's the part of the healing that we need to do is that laughing, right? Laugh and laugh hard. Eh? And I said, I met a lot of elders over the past few years that I've been doing this kind of work. I said, and all we do is laugh. We talk the language and you start burst out laughing, right? It's kind of like what's his name says, that comedian from Saskatchewan. What's that guy? Burnstick. You know, when you see people laughing, oh, they go back and and that's what he does, right? And then he hits them like that. They burst out laughing more. Anyway, so laughter is some of the things that I prefer to laugh. I prefer to have. So I do get angry because like right now I'm by myself. And things happen when I'm by myself, and I do get angry, but there's nobody around. There's nobody around. Then after a while, I stop getting angry and I go about my business, and then I watch my show and start laughing again, or maybe try call somebody. If they don't answer, then I say, "Oh, okay, fine." I delete them from Facebook. but that's one thing. Before we get the really going here, I'd like to do a song and to honor all of the ones that made it through this pandemic. To honor them and honor them with the honor song, and to honor the ones that didn't quite make it through it. The elders that passed away through that time. And sometimes we have to think about them and understand that, they're in that spirit realm. And then we are still here, and we try to protect as many people as we possibly can through song, through smudge, through prayer, and all those things. And of course, the laughter plays a big role in it as well. I want to do this honor song for everybody. I don't know who's in the house, but if you're in the house, please raise your hand, stand up. I mean, I'm just kidding. Don't worry about the standing up. Only if you meet me in person, that's when you stand. I'm just kidding. Because working on the wall, because working on the wall, working on the wall, working on the wall, because working on the wall. Because you up, mom, because you up, mom, you up, mom, you up, mom, because you up, mom, because Gituna, because Gituna, 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 because Gituna, That's the honor song to start it off, to start us off on this evening. Like I was telling Renee and Jody that I'm going to be doing mime stuff while Renee does all the talking. And if you see me disappear, I'm doing mime outside. No, I'm just kidding.
You know, I okay. So, Renee, we're laughing, okay, because we just know, right? But anyway, coming in and preparing ourselves to come into this room, I'm just feeling so overwhelmed with love, gratitude, emotion. And, I'm feeling this, beautiful energy. I'm reading all of the thank yous and the messages, good medicine, amazing, miigwech, singing along, and I'm bawling. And then he's got to ruin my like flow of, you know, releasing by making me laugh again. So it's all good medicine, and I love you both, and I'm so grateful. And all of the visitors tonight will be, I'm sure, grateful. So I'm going to leave the room and just be listening and watching from afar. So I love you both, Nyoa.
Take care. Well, I guess the ancestors wanted us to bring that laughter into their homes, and it's
Oh,
so.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You're supposed to be moving now. What is, it's so powerful when we look at one another, and all we can do is break out and smile because we have all those good memories, and for those times that we've been, as they say, traveling alone, and all we have to do is, I can think of something. I'll be driving down the road, and all of a sudden I see something, and I think of you, and when and your first ponytail, and there's so many things that brings that laughter in, and I'm grateful for our relationship, our friendship, and how it is so important to have those friends, and that can bring us through all these changes in our lives. And I was so grateful. I'm just learning about this. What's this thing called TikTok? Do you know about that one? Yeah.
I think it's a clock myself.
Oh my God, this is too much. Our family, we have a chat line, and I got a big family, and everybody, all the younger ones, they bring in this TikTok and all those other ones, and they do a lot of humor in there, and I am so blessed that it just happens at the right time. One of our niece will send in a little skit where it's indigenous, and it's so powerful. You can't stop but laugh because they show you. And this one, it always reminds us of someone in our family. When you watch these ones, it always reminds you of someone in our family. It'll remind us of we've seen it before in our community. And I'm so grateful that when the Creator created us, at times like this, I think, oh, wow. Because they tell us the Creator has given us so many gifts to help us get through anything. And one of the things that I have noticed is with us, the Indigenous people, we have such a sense of humor. Even when we're going through a hard time, something will happen. And then somebody will say something, then it triggers everybody off into a laughing. And then when somebody starts laughing, then you start laughing. Then it becomes a rippling effect. And it has helped so many of us to be resilient. And I'm so grateful for those times that we have created. And so our people would tell stories. They would tell stories of what had happened to them. And this is what our younger generation like to hear, and it's learning how to laugh at ourselves. And so I will share. When we had this ice storm not too long ago, I was out there. I got they're like this pick, and I'm out there. It looks like I was dancing. I'm going along like this, really slow, stepping like this, and I'm breaking up the ice. And all of a sudden, I hit a spot, and I went flying up, and my pole goes flying with the ice pick. And I'm laying there and I'm looking around. That's the first thing you do is look around to see who has ever seen you. And what I did, I said, "Oh well, I'm here. I might as well make angels." I'm doing that. And so it is those things that I've seen my grandma make. One of the things I remember, they used to have a lot of square dances in our community in the hall. It was pretty well every weekend, and each corner would have a competition to see who could dance really good, the best square dancers, and they were really singing and swinging and going. And my grandma was square dancing with a group, and she said they got swinging around and they got moving really fast, hold back T and hold back ha. And my grandma was just flying around there. She said she flew so much that her elastic on her slip snapped. And she said, next thing you know, her slip flew right off when they were doing that, where you throw them, you have them going around like that. My grandma says her slip went off and flew right on somebody's lap. And so she just kept on dancing. She says, "Oh, heck with it, I'll get it later." And so, those are things that when we learn how to laugh at ourselves, it is medicine too, because we don't want that guilt and shame when we go, "Oh my God, I did. Oh, that's terrible, I did." But you bring yourself back up, and I've known many incidents where that we have done that, and one of the incidents I'll share too is we had this elder, and he was always in demand, and he was always doing ceremonies for us, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this. and he'd come to my house to do some ceremonies for me, and we got talking and everything like that, and got done our ceremonies, and he walked out. He got to his truck, and then he come back. He had walked out without his shoes. He had left his shoes at the door, and he said, "I don't want to leave my shoes here or people will be talking." So So there are many incidents in my life that I have seen older people and mostly older people, how they make an adjustment to anything that has happened to them. They create this sense of safe place to bring back that sense of humbleness, that very gift of humbleness, and make it into a healing part of life. There are many incidents, and I think this is a night when we need to share these stories. And one another time that we had, we come from, I have a big family, and my dad, he offered to help our neighbors because they had a big crop of potatoes, and so he said, "Well, we can help you out." And they in exchange give us some potatoes, bags of potatoes. So we were out in the field working on gathering all the potatoes out there, bending over and picking them. And my dad took us all because we had a big wagon. He had a big wagon, and we all went, even the little ones. And they were playing while we were picking up the potatoes. And all of a sudden we heard my one of my sisters, she had fallen off the wagon. And we all looked, and she said, "Well," Dad said, "Well, do it again." So she gets back up and she jumps off the wagon again. But she was pushed off the wagon. We didn't know that, but she had been pushed off the wagon. And so to this very day, we always tease her about that time. And we all have those times of, and our kids like to hear how we get through those things. And I'm so grateful that we have moments in our lives that we have to learn how to be humble. And it makes us, as they say, vulnerable. And but most of all, we have learned how to use humor and create it as a healing. So anytime we make a mistake, we can make it better. We can bring it back to a place of not of shame, but of joy. And sometimes I think that even the ancestors, they like to have a little laughter once in a while. And how many of us have been walking around and then have not watching where we go, we bump into a door, or we bump into a tree, and just because we're talking, then I remember one time we were going on a school trip, and our teacher was coming behind, and we had to cross this creek, and there was this log going across the creek, but there was trees, branches hanging over that, and so we were all holding that branch so everybody could get by, and the last one behind us, he had forgotten that our teacher was behind him, and he let go of that branch, and poof, our teacher went flying right in the creek, and all of us were like this when we were one of Don Bernstick's way of laugh. We were all trying not to laugh. It was very hard. Here he got up. He was all a crick. He was all with all. And so he was mad at first. He was mad. Then he got laughing. And I want to say thank you for that day, because we saw our teacher as being a playful being again, and we thought of our teacher being so, so adult, but this time we saw a different part of him. So it was nice that we got a chance to see these things as we were growing up, and knowing that whatever happened, we made it a change. And that's what you used to hear a long time ago. That's why all the people, when they get together, they would exchange, oh, I remember this time. And then somebody would go on and tell a story, what happened to a friend of theirs, or what happened to themselves. And pretty soon everybody was laughing. It was that was our gift of resilience, how we got through our hard times, how we got through all these things. And so um, I have a lot of stories that keep me laughing. Yes, I am alone, but once in a while something will come, hear something, a song or something, and next thing you know, I'm laughing because, just like you said, um, I don't think we're ever alone, because I believe the ancestors are around us. And when we get in that place of our spirit going down, something will happen that'll make us laugh, and know that they're watching us, and they know what we're going through, and so they make this happen. And I believe that when I was a good example was when this winter, when I was trying to break the ice. So these things are truly a gift to help us. And I wish more of our young people would have this opportunity of hearing our stories, and how we got through all these challenges. And I know we were in a time when we didn't have a lot of things, but we still made a lot of fun out of it. And knowing it, how many of us had carnation milk? How many of us had powdered milk? And my brothers, they would get tired of having powder milk, and they would go, and that powder would go all over us, and we would be like ghosts, because we would have all that weight. And our mother she'd try to be very strict with us, but she ended up laughing. She had to turn her head around because she was laughing. And when my mother got laughing, we all got laughing, because we thought we were going to get heck. But when we got our mother laughing, we knew we had broke the ice. And this is what our mother needed at this time, was to have that moment of laughter. So I'm going to turn it over to you. You share. Your turn.
Yeah, I was thinking about what you were saying there. How sometimes when it seems like, um, and one of the elders that I talked with a while ago on my journey, he always used to say, "You're never alone.
Yeah.
You're never alone." And that's when these when you see all these birds flying around you, and you know, maybe an animal will walk up to you or walk by you or something, but they're looking at you, right? And in our cultures, we think about the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. And when we get into that predicament where we think that everything seems to be at a standstill, but we create that standstill ourselves. If we take a good look out there, out at creation, out at the animal kingdom, out of the plant kingdom, as we're walking along, you know, you kind of remind yourself of, wow, these guys are having more problems than we are, because a lot of these our brothers, the trees and all the plants are being taken out for development.
Mm-hmm.
And that day, I'm thinking about that one time I was by myself here, and all of a sudden I just started bursting out laughing. And I'm trying to figure out what the heck, why am I laughing? then, then, um, then my Peggy came. I think it was she came and she reminded me of the crazy things that happened when her and I first met, and all the things she put me through. And I think about those things. You know, there's
Mm-hmm.
one day I went shopping with her, and she had this little car. It was a Mercury Bobcat. They don't make those anymore.
No.
I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad they don't anyway, because they're so small. Anyway, we were in Aurelia, and we went to a Kmart store. That's when they were still here.
Uh-huh.
She says, and then she asked me, "Where will I park?" I don't know. Just park anywhere here. All of a sudden, we bounced over this, you know, those long cement blocks. We bounced over. Oh, what are you doing? And I looked out the window. Hon, I said, you're on top of those cement things. What? So she backs right all over it again. Oh my God. I said, I'm looking around to see if anybody's watching us. Eh? And that's that same thing when you fell. You get up and look around to see who's around, right? And but when I think of it, those are the things I think about sometimes when I get into where your balance drops.
Mm-hmm.
Your balance drops. All of a sudden, something pops up that makes me laugh. And I think about all those things. I remember one time, I'm going to say this. I don't usually talk about one of the funny things that ever happened to me in my drinking days was, oh my goodness, I still can't believe I did it, but I did it. And I drank, you know, this is my drinking days, way back in the 70s before I met my wife. And there was a pool tournament. And I went to a pool tournament. And this was on the mainland side. There was a tavern over there. And well, I got to drinking, and you know, I played my games, my pool, and all the stuff. My partner and I had. And after a while, you know, kind of when you drink too much, you kind of go into what they call a blackout situation. I woke up and I'm wondering where I was. Didn't know where I was. Well, you know, I hear people. I'm looking around. Then I finally realized where I was. Eh? I guess they had taken me downstairs into the owner's place. They lived downstairs, and they had a couple of rooms there, and that's where I was. I got up and I went upstairs, and they all started laughing. And I'm trying to figure out why are they laughing at me? Well, here's what happened. I guess after finished playing pool, well, actually, my friend and I won the tournament that day, but I don't remember. But apparently, when I was falling asleep at the table, I had ordered my dinner. Oh, jeez. I think about that once in a while. Eh? All of a sudden, they said all they could see me was going forward like this. Right into what I was eating, eh? And the owners came running over. They wiped me up, and the boys took me downstairs. And for the life of me, that That should have been the a reminder to quit drinking at that time when that happened. But when I think about that, I thought to myself, what the heck did I do to myself in those days? Half the times I don't remember what was going on. But again, like I said, I don't know. I'm here today, and I got here not only I didn't get here by myself. I'll tell you that right now.
That's true.
I got here with a lot of help. People that were looking out for me. The spirit, I guess, was looking out for me as well, because my task hadn't begun yet. And when when that first sweat lodge came to my community, that's when those tasks that I have been given were beginning to start. I was starting to do the task, starting to learn about some of those tasks that I needed to do and get caught up with it. And so when I think about stuff like that, those funny things that happened, and that time I was working at the health center as a drug and alcohol worker in my community. It was in the winter time, and it was slippery that day. And I come down the stairs and stepped onto the road, and I slipped and I fell and I landed on my back. And right away, I turned around, got on my knees, and I'm looking around like this, and looking around, making sure nobody saw me. I was all right. Like, I was a little bit hurt. I was a little bit damaged, I guess you could say. But I got up anyway, and I kept on going to the band office. I get to the band office. As soon as I go in through the door, one of the girls there says, are you hurt? I said, what? Are you hurt? Hurt? What do you mean? Oh, we heard that you fell on the road by the health center. I said, who the heck saw me? I looked around. There's nobody there. They said a little bird told me. Then I remembered there was a house right across the road from the health center, and I guess the owner, my good friend, she was living there. She watched me come out she's looking out the window when I fell, so she phoned the band office right away. Oh my God, I can't believe all those things. You don't think people see you. I don't know, but for some reason they do see you. How is that possible? You think about that. How is that possible? When we talk about that Magazine Telegraph also. Yeah. Now that was really something when I was growing up. There was no phones in my community. Mm-hmm. There was no way anyone can communicate from a mile away. By the time you got into trouble a mile away from your home, by the time you got home, you're being yelled at for what you got in trouble for down a mile from your house. And I thought, how the heck, we think about those things. How fast did that message get to my home to let them know this is what happened? And then I asked about that question. They said, never question how they did things, because we all have it, and we'll get to learn that as we get older, is what they said. We will know that way without having to use a telephone. Mm-hmm. And when I think about, I think Renee mentioned it too when she began about friendships. I know a lot of, I've met a lot of people in my life in the short time that I've been on this red path. I've met a lot of them. I've laughed with them. I cried with them. I sang for them. I did smudging for them. I smudged them up. I did all these things. And we all worked together. It's not me doing all the work. It's me working for them, and they're doing the work for themselves so they can get better and start laughing again. Because sometimes, if I ever told you all this, that one day somebody asked me, Neil, aren't you ever serious? I said, yeah, I can be serious if you want, but you won't like that guy. I said. He says, well, I don't understand what you mean by that. I can be very serious if you want me to, I said. But like I said, you won't like me when I'm done. And then somebody mentioned, don't get him too serious. And we like him the way he is. Sometimes they want to throw me out the door after, but for me, I can be serious. I can. don't what you call, don't be in shock when I say that now. But I do, I can be serious when I want to be.
Mhm.
And when I do the things that I do when I do what I do, this is where that part comes into play, because you have to be serious. No, you have to be laughing at the very beginning of certain things, especially when you start working with people.
Yeah.
You got to break the ice with them, because if you don't break the ice with people, they're going to think, oh, here comes another rigid teacher.
Yeah.
And that's not how we are. We're not rigid. We're not rigid teachers. For me, when people ask me, oh, this may be a wrong question to ask you, they say to me sometimes. I said, yeah, one thing I find, I said, there are no such thing as wrong questions.
All right.
There are no such thing as wrong questions. There are wrong questions, there are right questions. You ask a wrong question, it's still a question.
Mhm.
And I said, there's also no right or wrong answers. A lady, my very first woman teacher told me that there are no right or wrong answers. It's when you ask, when you get the wrong answer, you always move forward, and you look for that right answer, right? Because you're not sure exactly what you're talking, what they give you, right? The answer. And sometimes people wonder, I don't understand it. I said I didn't either when I first heard about that. I said there are no right or wrong answers. We have questions. We get the answers, and sometimes one answer will lead. It's kind of like a book. Let's look at it from a book perspective, right? You look at the cover of the book as your question. You see the cover, you see everything on there, picture and what the name of the title and everything is. When you open the book, the answers start coming on what that book actually means. Because sometimes those stories are really somebody else's stories, their life, and what they went through in time. Right? I'd like to write a book. I'd like to write a book, but I'm, for me, I'm at that age where I probably write a joke book or something. But I'd probably talk about the things that happened to me through my lifetime, all the funny stuff that happened to me through my lifetime. Eh? And sometimes I'll bring them up and use them. But sometimes I'll also bring my other part of my life up, the dark life that I lived, just to let people know where I come from. That I like for right now, like I said earlier, I got here not by myself. I got here with the help of people like Renee, like maybe Sylvia Miracle,
Mhm.
uh, Tom Porter, John Rice, all them teachers, all them guys that really made an effort to keep people going, right? The one that really got me to this place was my wife. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. I thank her every day, almost every day when I go to bed sometimes, when I say, Miigwech, when I think about her sometimes. I said sometimes, and I say to her, and I still really appreciate you. But then she comes along, then she probably gives me a slap and says, okay, leave me alone now. I'm in a good place. Talk to me later. More likely that's what she's doing, right? Because when I told her that day that I asked her to stop doing this to herself by holding on when she was passing away that day, when I said to her, I said, I'll be okay.
Mhm.
You cannot do this to yourself. Let go. You can go now. And that was a hard time for me to say that, but I didn't want to see her suffer anymore. So I had to take I had to step forward and say, this is what you need to do.
Mhm.
And I remember telling people my story when I saw her leave. I saw my wife leave into that spirit world. I saw that little white, whatever the spirit sitting on the edge of her mouth, right there. I know what I saw. because it was weaving gently like this, gently like this. Then when I went to get the girls and letting them know that it's time mom's going now, I said. And what I saw next, I couldn't see it. I could see it, but it was very visible. It wasn't quite as bright as it was when I first saw it. And then you seen it going like this and disappear. And it was her who got me to this point in my life. And I'm still, even 6 years after she's been gone, I still appreciate her for she's still getting me here. She's still pushing me along. There are times when I want to retire. There are times when I want to stop doing what I'm doing. But I remember what she said to me once. She said, "You'll never retire," she said. As soon as the phone rings, they'll want you to go down and do something for them. A week later, when I was going to really retire, the phone rang a week later, and she said, "Who is that?" I said, "That's OFIFC." I said, "See, I told you." She said, "You'll never retire. They'll need you. They want you to go down." Then, of course, she asked me this big question: "How much are you getting paid?" So I told her. Then she says, "Okay, hurry up, go on. You better go. Shooing me out the door." Oh man, that was funny. Oh, I can't believe that she did that. She was so funny. And then, so when what really got me though is that what is it called on those cell phones? It's like a text message or a video chat or something.
Mhm.
I think it's a video chat. I think it was. I'm not sure. I was in a hotel down in Toronto, and my phone rang. I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on, and somebody said, hit the camera button." So I hit the camera button. There's Peg right there. We're video chatting. So we were done. We were done that night, and we finished our chat. And I said, "Well, hon, I got to go to sleep. 5 o'clock comes early." And then so she said, "Okay." And then she says, "Give me a kiss." She says. I said, "What? Give you a kiss? What do you mean? I'm not going to kiss that phone." I said, "Come on," she says. So she talked me into it. So I ended up kissing the phone. And she said, "Thank you," she said. "Thank you." And that, she was the only one that ever got me to do that. Mind you, I wouldn't do that for anybody else. But it's but when I think about things, what she did and all the funny, crazy stuff that she did, oh my God, it's unbelievable. That's kind of like, I'll tell you this one story. We were down in Rama, her mom. We were going to visit her mom. And so she was making lasagna that night for supper, and she needed some cheese. There was no cheese. Because I went to the store, in the Rama store, and they had no cheese there either. So I came back and I told her, "Want me to go?" She says, "No, I'll go because I need to pick a couple of things up." "Okay," she said, "I'll go get the cheese." So her mom was sleeping. So I was there getting things ready, doing stuff in the kitchen. And then she comes out, my mother-in-law. And she's kind of deaf. She was deaf. And she looks at me and she says, "You, Neil," she said. "Yeah." She says, "Where's Peg?" I said, "She's gone to town to get some cheese." Then she looks at me. She says, "Why do I have to say please?" Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe that. I had to go. I had to go to the table. I said, "She's gone to get some cheese." So I wrote it down for her. And she looks at it. She goes, "Oh my goodness." She says, she bursts out laughing. She went to get some cheese. Yeah, not please. Oh my goodness, I couldn't stop laughing. I told Peggy about that, and actually, her mom and I were sitting in the kitchen when she came in, and, "Oh, Peg, you got to hear this. You got to hear this." And I told her, I told your mom to wear your, what do you call those things in your ears? Hearing aids, hearing aids. I told you to wear those hearing aids. And we just burst out laughing again. But so those are the things that even our old folks are, our elders, when they say things, they're deaf and they say something different, right? They hear it differently. Whereas well, I'm getting to be like that too. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. But when we talk about those friendships, and we talk about those friendships and all the friends that we have, when I say my prayers, I say to my family and to my family of friends, when I say that, I mean that. There's a lot of people out there. And if you want to pass those prayers along to other people, so it's just kind of one of those things where you can say this one thing, all of a sudden it goes forward and it keeps going forward, forward, forward until it reaches a long ways away, because our teachings, what they call our forever teachings, they never, ever stop. It's like that spiritual road that we walk on. It'll be, that road will always be there. Even though we walk on it now in this physical world, we'll still be on it in the spiritual world. So I wanted to sing another song, but I'm gonna do a lip. I'm gonna get Renee to sing, and I'll do the lip part. How's that? What, right, Renee? No? Or is that too much?
You always pick a song I don't know.
Well, we're going to do that song that everybody likes. It's #1 in Canada, Canada, the United States, and Europe. And it's called Mungai Pungai, Jiggy Jiggy Jungai.
I'll do the dancing. Here you go.
Fire, sacred fire, burning through the night. Come to me in the dream time, bring me visions of life. Circle round, spiral down to these arms open wide. Healing light, burning bright, bright as tears that I cry. Fire, sacred fire, burning through the night. Come to me in the dream time, bring me visions of life. Circle round, spiral down to these arms open wide. Healing light, burning bright, bright as tears that I cry. Way ha, way hi, way hi, way hi. Way ha, way hi, way hi, way hi. Fire, sacred fire, burning through the night. Come to me in the dream time, bring me visions of life. Circle round, spiral down to these arms open wide. Healing light, burning bright, bright as tears that I cry. Way ha, way hi, way hi, way hi. Way ha, way hi, way hi, way hi. Fire, sacred fire, burning through the night. Come to me in the dream time, bring me visions of life. Circle round, spiral down to these arms open wide. Healing light, burning bright, bright as tears that I cry. Way ha, way hi, way hi, way hi. Way ha, way hi, way hi, way hi. Way ha, way hi, way hi, way hi. Way ha. hiya, way, hiya, hiya. Woo!
Whoa. Awesome.
And that's I learned that one at the Berry Friendship Center one day with the singing with the women down there, and I asked them whose song that belonged to, and they didn't seem to know where it came from. And I said, "Can I use it?" And they said was, "But don't tape it. Don't put it on DVD or anything." She said, "No, no, I wouldn't do that." I said, "So that's one of the songs I use in teaching. When you look at the sacred fire, sacred fire burning through the night. Our fire inside burns every day of our lives, right? Every day of our lives. And it burns inside here. When the creator comes to get us, our spirit, then the flame goes away. But then that flame is also taken into that spirit realm as well. And when we think about that, burning bright, and how bright it is sometimes, right? Look at my good friend here, Renee. She's sitting there bright. It's not the light that's shining on her. It's that aura that surrounds her. That is the brightest part about her, and she's protected by that. It's kind of like the earth is protected by these things, and the same thing with us. We have that aura that sits around us. And when we think about that fire, sacred fire, burning through the night, well, our fire will continue to burn as long as Creator allows it to happen. And then when we look at that, we put arms open wide, right? And when we open our arms, whoops, I can't see my arms now. Where am I here? Oh, is that the way or? Oh, there we go. When we open our arms wide, what we're asking for is our Creator to shine down on us, right? That's what we're saying. Burning bright, dry these tears that I cry. And drying those tears, when we dry our tears, we cry for reasons, but it's all right to cry as well. One of the teachings, and I remember telling some people this, one of the teachings I've heard about the crying is that when you start crying, those tears are coming down. What they suggest that we do is we take our tears and brush them back over our head like this, wash our face with them. Because that's what's happening there is that healing part is coming out to help us to wash ourselves down with our own tears. And so that song, and that when I sing that song, gee, I'm having trouble speaking here. And so when I sing that song to the people, I tell them a little bit about that song. Dry these tears that I cry, fire, sacred fire, burning through the night. Come to me in the dream time. Come to me in that dream time, right? And those dreams that we have sometimes they're powerful dreams, right? They're powerful dreams. And I'm sure, Renee, you've had some powerful dreams as well. When I have dreams, I meet people that I don't even know. Mm-hmm. I meet people that I have never met before in my life. Mm-hmm. But they're there, right? I sometimes dream about the friendships I have. Some of the girls up in Sudbury, or some of the girls down in Hamilton, or over in Peterborough. I dream sometimes we cross paths in our dreams sometimes. And sometimes they'll ask me questions in the dreams. Mm-hmm. People I don't even know sometimes. And I find that I wake up and I wonder, why did I dream that? Mm-hmm. Because they came to ask me something. Another thing that really strikes me, I shouldn't say it strikes me as odd, but sometimes I'll be thinking of somebody, maybe 2 days ago, and they don't leave me, so I have to contact them. Mm-hmm. And I say, "Are you okay?" And sometimes they'll say, "No, I'm not." Then we say, "Okay, you want to chat?" So I get on the phone and I start talking to them. And so those are some of the spiritual messages coming from them. They're looking for help. When you hear when you get them in your head, or they come into your mind, and they're coming to ask you to help for that help. And I think Grandma Renee's also had probably had some of those as well, because as we get older, we begin to sense more things, and but but for me, I sense a lot of stuff, and a lot of the funny stuff I sense as well too. But being, but I enjoy what I do. I enjoy helping people. I'll turn you down once in a while, though. I will turn you down, and I will forward you to somebody else, because like sometimes you want to talk to somebody within your region, but if they really want me to come there, okay, I'll say, okay, I'll be coming up tomorrow. You ready? Get everything ready. I'll be there, and I will go. I will go, because again, those tasks, right? I think Renee, you've had some of those. Had some of those when you had to go help, eh? And I guess that's our task, is to help. I tell everybody sometimes, I'm easy but not cheap. Oh man, you see the look on some of the people when I say that. Oh my God! And I'm only fooling around, pulling their leg, and that's the best part about it, though. But I hope I don't get too serious, because I remember a man once said, if you stay angry for a long time and you're carrying a bundle, maybe you need to relieve your bundle to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said, and I believe that. I believe that you cannot be angry and carry a bundle. You cannot be angry and carry an eagle feather or tobacco or anything sacred. That's why I only stay mad for 5 minutes. I'm not mad at anybody. Not at anybody. It's me I'm mad at. Sometimes I get mad at me, because sometimes, I do make mistakes. Yeah, I do. Honest Injun. and then, but I know when I'm getting angry with myself, that I have to know when to stop. I have to know when to stop. Like when my grandchildren, I could never get mad at those guys. No matter, all right, you guys, look what you did to my room. I'll clean that up. And then they start laughing. Come on, don't laugh. That's not funny. They keep laughing more. And all of a sudden, I'm laughing. All right, get out of my room then. But, and that's just the way things are with me. And, some people think I'm complicated. I'm not complicated. I'm easy. I'm easygoing. Just like Renee. She's easygoing. That's why I like her so much. She's like my twin sister.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I've known Renee for a while, and and it's people like her that I like to be close to sometimes. And I like that. I like that funny part about her too. She laughs. But then I seen her serious one time. Oh man, I snuck out of the room that time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Is that when I close my eyes?
That's when you close your eyes, right? I left the room. No, I'm taking too much of your time. You go ahead there.
Oh,
Renee.
yeah, you're just putting in me all these things that memories, and that's why the creator created that opportunity, was to create memories. And I like how you spoke of the fire, and how you spoke of that journey of that fire, that spark that's in us. And when we laugh, when we smile, it's an invisible energy that is carried over. Even those that are feeling grumpy, even those that are feeling what they love, you always see those ones that are, they look at you, what they laughing at, and pretty well they're gonna have to turn their head, because you get them you get them smiling. And I know when we were working at York Farms, and well, every one of us, when we were growing up on the reserve, the canning factory that's where we used to go and go our summer jobs. And we would be there with all these other people that came across the waters, and we'd be working alongside of them. And with the indigenous people, we're always laughing. We're always laughing and doing whatever work we have to do. We're always laughing. And there was one lady, I don't know what nationality she was, but she was pretty serious. She just kind of look at us like that. And we would look at her and kind of, oh, what's happened to her? And then finally she got really mad at us. She put her hands on her hip and she says, why are you always laughing, 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 laughing? You got work to do. And the lady beside her, oh, you just keep quiet. She told her to be quiet. She says, because we need this laughter in this place that we're working, because we deal with, she spoke in her, the language, and she said how we've had so much trauma, people coming from Europe. And she says, and we can come here and these people are still laughing for all that's been done to them. And and she looked at us and she just started to have a different relationship with us. And so I really love how we can bring that gift to them, and that's that fire, the laughter, how it affects a lot of people, and it brings that spark in us. It lights our fire. It makes that fire go stronger, and that fire is a gift. People will remember us. We'll pass away, and then our breath will pass. But we're giving that breath to every one of us. Every time we meet, every time we sit together, we're passing that fire onto us. We've given you this gift, and I know it has done wonders to all of you to hear us pass this gift on to you. And I know this is what our purpose is too, to guide you, to remind you of this fire that you have, and how to keep going, of being resilient. I love this thought, how my father had spoke of this fire, and he says the strongest medicine. This was before when we were having a death in our family, and my dad said to me, he says, you don't need to be sad too long. He says the strongest love, the strongest medicine is that love you have for each other. And he said, someday you're going to be by yourself, and all of a sudden you're going to burst out laughing. You're going to remember something that loved one did. And and that's so true. That's so true. No matter if you had hard times or whatever, this moment, and I think of when I was married, and I was so upset with my husband. I was so upset. I said, I'm not taking any more of this. I showed him that part that I'm not taking this anymore. And I went in a bedroom and I started packing. He comes behind me. He comes behind me. Please don't take the deodorant. Please don't take the deodorant. And I just grabbed that deodorant and I just threw it. We both stopped laughing. You see, those things are I still laugh about that time, even though we had our differences, and even though we've had our ups and downs in our lives, and and those things those things are the medicines that we need to think about these relationships that we have in our life. And that's why I love meeting new people. I love meeting them with a smile, because I can give them a gift. I don't have to say anything. All I can do is smile and give them that gift, because that gift is love, the kindness and goodness. And it is something they may need at that time. And that's how my grandma taught me. My grandma said, when you meet a complete stranger, give them that sincere smile. She says, because it may be the medicine that they need at this time. They may be going through a hard time. And when you show them that smile, that kindness, she said, oh, somebody cares for me. You may be a complete stranger. And in our dreams, This plays another role. That is that fire, the fire between two worlds. That's that, you know, how they talk about that first telephone. There was that spark, that fire that crossed the lines. And that is our words. And so we have a direct line to the spirit world. And that's where my dad spoke of that connection is so strong that, you know, nothing will ever sever it because of that love you have for each other. And because you sometimes need that support, and they come to you in their dreams because they know that, my daughter does that so often. If I'm going through a hard time and worrying about, not we're really worrying, but caring so much for someone, it's just like she comes. And you know, it's so real. Like even my grandma, when I was going through hard times being a single parent, and I didn't have my grandma around like I used to, she would be always there to help me see through a situation and not for me to stay angry. And one time I was really, really, as I say, in that place of that low place, and I was feeling of giving up. And I was laying there, and I swear, and it was so real that she had come and she just went like this. I could just feel her hands go over my hair and just said, "It'll be okay." And sure enough, it was okay. And that's even like because I lived with my grandparents. It wasn't because my parents didn't want me. It is because that was their obligation. Both my parents were the babies in the family, and when being the oldest, it was my responsibility, um, to go and help my grandmas when they needed me. And so my dad would say, you must go and see where you and stay with your grandma for a while." And that's what I would do. I would go and stay with her. And then I also would do that with my other grandma. And I got to, help them out a lot. And so, you know, it came full circle again. Because, you know, when I was going through those hard times, my grandpa, he came to me in my dream and he says, "No more, girl. You'll be okay." And what a powerful, I knew then by them visiting in my dreams that I could get through this and I wouldn't have to worry. And so there's validation in that dream world. And I'm so grateful that Neil opened that door after speaking of these dreams, and that we can be serious, right, Neil? We can be serious and share good times. And those dreams, just like he says, we've met many of you, and we know that sometimes you need us. And so right away when I get that feeling, or and I hear your name, or it's just like help. And the first thing I do is I take that moment and I send off prayers. I ask Creator, watch over the one that has in need of guidance right now. May they have someone that is going to be there shortly. And so this is the power of thoughts. This is the power of dreams. This is the power of that fire, that unconditional love. You don't know who it is for, but you do it because you have that your senses are very, very in tune. And it's amazing because, you know, someone would come, you see them maybe a couple months, and they were saying, "Gee, I was going through some real hard times," and poof, you popped in my mind. And I go, I had gone to visit you. And they said, "Yeah, you have helped me through one of my hardest times." He says, "All I could remember was your smile, and I knew that you were thinking of me." And so that's that fire. That's that fire that everyone needs. Is that, you know, you're not alone. Even though we can't visit you, we can't be there in person to be with you when you're going through hard times. Just like with Neil and I, we do have our hard times. We do have our loss. We do go through our challenges. But you know, I'm over here and I can, what they call is distant healing, to heal that heart, to heal that mind. And this is what we do for each other. Distant, distant prayers, we think of them and we wrap them. like we would. To me, I always get like a big blanket and I wrap them up, and I make sure that they're going to be okay. So this is one of the things that we do. You know, we know that sometimes our phone is in here. We didn't we didn't like Neil's talked about. Whenever we know how true it is, how many times have you come home and your mother knew what you were doing? We didn't have a phone. And she knew, and we couldn't lie. She said, "Don't you lie. I know what you were doing." And so it taught us, oh, how did they know these things? Because we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have all these phones. And so our parents knew, and that's just like us today. We have that inner phone. We have that universal phone that is connected to all of the ones that we haven't met yet, and the ones that we're going to meet, and the ones that we have met. And so our connection, once we have seen or heard or been with you, that relation is forever. That's how it is in with us. Once we meet you, we give you that fire that we put into you, that fire of resilience, that fire. This is what those our teachers did for us when we were in need of our fire to be lit. And one of the things that I really I when I saw my elders, I held them up in high esteem. We all do that. And one time, me and my elder, we were traveling to another reserve to do some work, and he was driving, and something happened, and I bust out laughing. I bust out laughing, and I had to turn my head because I was laughing so hard. He says, "What was that?" And I said, "Oh, nothing." And he said, "Come on, tell me." I said, "Oh, I went like this. It. No, I can't." I said, "It's a joke." And he looked at me, and I always thought he was so, so wise, and and I said, "I can't tell you." He said, "Oh, it can't be that good. You got to tell. Now you got me interested." He says, "If I tell you a joke," he says, "you owe me a joke." I go, "Oh." So he told me this joke, and oh my God, I laughed so hard. I laughed so hard. I never thought this would come from from him, but he showed me how laughter brings us on a relationship stronger than anything else. And so I had to tell him that joke, and we were both laughing on the way visiting the other reserves. And so um, that's that fire. That's that fire. And hopefully, when we meet again, or when wherever we are, you know, we'll recognize you. We can't see you right now. You see us, but to us, when we go to sleep at night, we know we have been in touch with you. We have come in contact with your spirit, your body. We have already talked to your spirit, and so this is powerful. This is amazing. And we've had different requests. Is at a certain time, can you pray for me? And so, sure enough, we would do that. And it brings that power of love that flows either way, or around this way. So that's how powerful those words are, and it is because that fire inside us, and that what we keep it lit by using humor, and it also is symbolic because it means, just like Neil said, who wants to see anybody? Who wants to go and see anybody that's so serious? You know, they'll be making faces behind us if we turn our back. If we had to write on a book, on a chalkboard or anything, they'd be snickering and go like this. And so you see, we rather smile with you so that you can smile with us, and know that this journey is is a gift. And when we share our stories, it is now your story to share. You can say, "Oh, I remember this time that Neil shared this story, or I heard this story from grandmother Renee, and it came to me just at a time that I needed it." And so, this is our gift to you. This is this gift that comes from the heart that has a lot of laughter, has a lot of tears. It has a mixture, and is a good recipe for everyone to use. So don't forget, even children like to laugh. Children like to see you do things with them, and that brings that relation stronger. So in our family, we adults try to create really powerful memories, and you would say family reunions. And so our family was always creating laughter, moments of laughter. And one of the things that our family, our father, we grew up without television. There was times when we would just go out and do things outside, and we played old games. How many of you remember that game, Ante Over? Well, you had to throw that ball over. We split our family in half on one side, one half. One time it would be dad's side and the other would be mom's side. But we always be laughing because our mom, she'd always get caught. She would just freeze. She said, "You can't see me," and so seeing my dad run, or seeing our mom run, it was just like, oh, we get laughing there, and we were having a good time. We played Red Rover, Red Rover. Let someone come over, and then we'd be like this, and my mom would come in like this to come across the fields, and those things are what we need. This is why we need to do these things, is create that fire in you, to create those memories, so that whenever you're being tested by of those challenges, is those memories that will pop up and save you from those things, because that's what its duty is. It's to prevent you from going to that dark side. And that's why it's so important to create happy moments with your family, your friends, is to create those memories so that it can hold them up in the toughest times in their life. And that's plays a very important role. So know that, um, what we do every Christmas is we have board games. We have games to play, and charades. Oh, it is amazing. The time of lots of laughter, and we are so blessed that the Creator had humor. And I'll often look at everyone when I see them smile. I said, "Oh boy, just think we are made of the Creator. We have this gift." And I look at the Creator not being judgmental. To me, I know the Creator as someone that has humor, has humbleness, has all these things that we can sit and talk with Him all the time, and we do. I'm not alone, because I'm always talking. And my family would always be concerned when I'd be traveling to all these different places that I was invited to. And they said, "Mom, I don't like you traveling alone." I says, "I'm not alone." I said, "I have a whole carload of them. They're telling me how to get off the road and go different ways. And you know what? I do listen, and I get off the road. And sure enough, it is they're taking care of me." And even when my granddaughter got married, and my parents are gone, and and her mom was gone, and so I was sitting up with the fam no the bride's family, was the mother and like the grandmas and all them. I was sitting up there all alone, and my sister come up to me and she says, "I would have sat with you. I would have sat with you. This is, that's okay." I said, "I saw all of them there. I saw and felt their energy. I felt her mom there. I felt her dad there. I felt my mom and dad there. I felt all of them there with us." And so I said, "That's okay. It's okay." Because you see, they were there. And that's what we say. Sometimes you sit there, and when you're at a big celebration, and they're not there. You always say, "Oh, I wish they were here. Yeah, I wish they were here." And you know, creation, creator as intervention. And it is amazing because even just past year, when my brother made his journey home, he was the first one of our family. Within those 10 days, we had pre planned, my niece had pre planned a family thing for us to do. And lo and behold, would you know, it was in a golf course, because that's where my brother really loved to. That was his golf course, and we were out there, all his siblings, his brothers and sisters, and his niece and nephew. We were out there before the 10-day was up, and so we all felt we were we were playing that last game with him. That last game he was with us, and before he left to go on to the Creator's will. So you see, things like this is amazing. It is amazing. And so there's no such thing as death. It's just a higher level of consciousness. And they can come to us. It's just like they whisper in our ears. And that's what I had said one time. Um, I had I was talking to my granddaughter, and I knew she was going to start smoking, and I knew and I was saying to her, I was saying, "Oh, I wish I would like to not to be smoking." I said, I said the same thing to your mother. And just then it was like she said to me, she said, "Ma, I didn't die of cancer." And it was that was so true. She didn't. She had and so those things are so powerful. And that's the way she was. She was that one that was bringing that humor in when even when I was in that place of kind of being in that low place, and she'd come and she said that I knew it was her because the way she would always speak to me in that time. But Ma, it was almost correcting me. And so it was a renewal of the fire of my fire to keep my fire going. And I hope what you are gaining tonight is a boost in your fire. Whatever you may be going through, whatever you've been faced with, tonight we send that fire to you, that breath to you, to give you motivation, to give you what you need to overcome what is ever happening in your life. And this is why we brought these songs to you. We brought the laughter. It was just like a mixture of being at grandma's. You get a lot of things. You get a lot of goodies, and this is why having a night with your grandparents, your aunties and uncles is so refreshing, and it restores your fire. So I'm going to turn it over to pass the feather over to my brother Neil so that he can continue. Don't burn yourself.
I think like Renee's saying that that fire has been given. I don't know how many times over, and again, that burns bright. It's a very bright fire. Sometimes it dwindles because this is where when you feel the warmth of your body beginning to flow out, and I remember somebody saying something about this. And when your body begins to get cold, it's that fire inside you that's beginning to diminish, and you need to rekindle it, either by laughter, or talking to your best friend, or giving Renee a call at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll give you her number. But here's the thing. I remember getting a call the other. I think it was not last week, but I think it was last week, from a friend of mine from I believe I think Scandinavia, and she asked me to sing her a song. But I didn't. I figured, okay, I'll do the song and prayer and smudge. So I decided, and something popped into my head. So I said, let me video. Let's do a chat. I'll sing to you through that. And I contacted her, and sure enough, she popped up on the screen, and I sang her the bear song, the healing song. and I smudged, and I showed her the smudge, and you know, and it made a whole much difference for her. I hope it did anyway, because it helped her out. It helped her make her that clear thinking coming out, I believe. I think that's what she said, if I can remember. But those are the kind of types of things I like doing. If you know, you give me a call and say, "Hey Neil, can you sing for me?" Well, I'll sing for you, yeah. And or you can smudge at the same time. I can smudge, light it up, and show it to you, and then sing you a song and offer the prayer as well. Again, those are some of the things that we do. Like Renee was saying, these are the things that we are being tasked to do for you. Don't be afraid to ask. That's the thing. If you're afraid to ask, and then whatever it is that's bothering you is going to continue, and we don't want that to continue. As Renee was talking, I was thinking about all the people I met. You know, I have a lot. You know, I have a lot of fun with the ones in Hamilton, the Hamilton Regional Center, the Friendship Center down there. Have a good time with them, and then of course the ones up in Sudbury as well. But you know, sometimes our paths don't cross too often. But I do think of them, you know, and when I'm hoping that one day that some of you who we can't see, maybe our paths will cross, because somewhere along that line it will pass. Our paths will cross. I just want to touch base too a little bit on what was said earlier about that connection that we have with Creator. It's kind of like that, like what she said, the telephone line. And what we say in our language here is that giteabigigan, it meaning that the lines are being hit by that energy. And but when one day I was thinking, and I seen these coming from your head going up like this. It's like a strand. And I remember that. I remember somebody telling me about these things once time. There's a strand that is connected from our top right here, and it goes up from there. And that's our lifeline to Creator. That's the lifeline to the universe. That's the one we talk to. We talk through that, through our tobacco, through our fires, through our songs, through everything, through all the elders. And when you think about that sacred fire, you know, our fires were almost diminished way back. They almost were. If it wasn't for those elders, our elders going what they call underground to give those teachings, keep those teachings alive, putting their bundles away where they can be found at a later time. If it wasn't for them, you know, our fires maybe would have been out, maybe. But I don't think so. Because we're like the wolf, right? The wolf was almost put into extinction. But they came back, just like us. We're still here. We got each other. That's the most important part about this, is that we have each other. And that's what makes it. That's what makes the world go round, right? When we have each other. When we talk about who we are, we talk about those things that were given to us. We didn't trade for them. Creator gave us those, so we can walk upon the earth in that good way, to help each other along the path, right? To help those that are, you know, walking along this path. You see them on the side of the road. You as you're walking, you pick them up and walk with them. That's kind of like one day when I was listening to my first woman teacher way back in I don't know what year that was, 92, 93, I think it was. I first met her, and she talked about our role as men. Our role as men is to take care of those women that are walking with us. And she said, not the ones walking ahead of us, not the ones walking behind us, but the ones who are walking with us. That means side by side. And we're clearing the path, right? And this is when I started learning about a woman's role in our life. I remember saying too that, a good solid foundation is built on a woman. And you look at Mother Earth, she still provides, even though all those things are taken out of her, all those things that she needs as well. Same thing what happened to us, right? All those things were taken out of us, but we're now slowly putting them back in. At Mother Earth, she continues, but they're still taking things out of her. She still provides. She will still provide as long as, she'll be providing as long when I'm long gone. And I hope that, we give a little bit of understanding of the truth behind who Mother Earth is,
Mm-hmm.
and how powerful she can be. Grandfathers and grandmothers, the elders that have gone on before us, they cleared the path for us. At my age, again, I'm not going to say when I'm going to pass away, because I don't know. That's not up to me. Maybe after I stop dancing dancing around and fooling around, maybe Creator said, okay, Neil, that's enough. Let's go home. I'll be sad, but also be happy. So, with that, I'm going to sing a song. What time is it there? 8:34? That's my political voice, by the way. If you away, I oh, I oh, away, I oh. Way Bishop said, and that song is recognize and offer prayers to our Creator, our grandfather, our grandmother, and Mother Earth. And we have to, we should try and acknowledge them every once in a while. You know that song I gave to you one a while back, Walking with Creation. That's the other part of that. And then, when we're walking along, we got to talk to each one of them, or one of them, as we go in our path, right? Anyway, you got any questions? I have no answers. No. And it's we need to keep our fires burning.
Mm-hmm.
And how we keep those fires burning is keeping our friendships alive. keeping our friendships alive, talking to each other, visiting with each other when we can, and making sure that lifeline that we have with ourselves, with our Creator, and the universe is still connected, because that will never break, no matter how small that line is, because it's a very fine line, but it's a very, very strong line as well. That will never break. That will never break. I think that's about, I don't know. You got anything else, Renee, that you might want to add or delete or
You've done,
exclude?
you've done very well of bringing us, wrapping it all up in that song. That was powerful. That was what everyone needed right now. And I want to say, miigwech, our music, our voice, our thoughts are powerful. And what we shared tonight, we give you that medicine to help you in the days to come. Whatever you, as they say, whatever you're facing, know that there's someone that cares, and we're singing a song for you, we're praying for you, we're even thinking about you, and because we know we're going to meet you someday. And to all of those that we haven't met, we are, as they say, we are anxious to know that we have already become connected. By you being with us tonight, it means a lot. And we hope that you stay tuned for the next commercial. And that's Neil. Neil does the commercials.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you this offer. No, I'm just kidding. Again, yeah, it's true. It's true. We got to stay connected. Like I don't see anybody that's there. Oh, by the way, there's somebody there out in virtual land. On your coffee table, there's something on the edge. Be careful that it doesn't fall. It might break. So it just kind of moved away. What if that's true? So anyway, I enjoyed my evening, and always a pleasure to work with my sister Renee, and I really appreciate her as well. So thank you, everybody.
Hello, Jody. I think we lost her.
I think so. She must be watching football, hockey, maybe.
Or she went to the bathroom.
Does anybody want to hear another song before we knock off for the night? Or I can't see anybody, so.
I think
Pungai,
so.
Pungai, Jiggy, Jiggy, Jungai, maybe.
Yeah.
God Save the Queen. She'll be coming around the mountain.
She'll be coming around the mountain.
Anyway, Jody, are you there? She must be gone.
Well.
Hello. I'm turning blue. It's getting dark in my house, and I'm turning blue.
You shared your fire so much you got dark.
I got no more fire. Well, that's what their ancestors used to say, that we're sharing people. So if I go cold tonight, then somebody better pass the fire over later on tonight. Oh. Okay, so I don't know where Jody is.
Yeah. Usually she comes on and she goes like this. She usually lets us know.
Unless she wants us to continue. No, I don't know.
Hey. She must think we have to go to 9 then. She didn't really let us know how long.
I think it said 8:30, I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah. But if there's something else they want to hear or want to do, I'm open.
Yeah, me too. We're
Put
here.
It in the chat. Put it in the chat. Do you want to hear another song? Put it in the chat.
We could be
No,
here all night. Have another
looking at
song.
each other.
It's just like just bring back memory. One more song. One more song.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm going to close the night with another song, and it's still there at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they said yes, please. They want another song. Another song, please. I can read that one.
Where do you see that?
I got it in comments. Yes,
Maybe I'm in
please.
a different.
They want some
Okay,
more.
mungai pungai chiki chiki chungai.
Encore, they said. Encore.
Oh, the mungai pungai chiki chiki chungai way hey hi ho. Oh, the mungai pungai chiki chiki chungai way hey hi ho. Hope I can remember this. This is a fairly new song that's been coming in and out, and hoping I can do this. No, I can't do it. Okay, I'm going to do the woman song then, the Spirit Woman song. Is everybody agreeable? Hands up, stand up. Odisha vida sposa, muero bemadizewen. Odisha vida sposa, muero bemadizewen. Away, way, away, away. Away, way, away, away, way, away, way, way, I'm going to do a bear song. A message just came through. Way hi ho, way hi ho, Yahweh, way hi ho, way hi ho, Yahweh, 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 on it to my Oga bidagose. On a dome aqua, Ogi, you and make man. With fire, with fire, Yahweh, with fire, with fire, Yahweh, 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 on the dome aqua, Oga binagose. On it all, my God. Oh, keep it when me come. Oh, Yahweh, Yahweh, on it all, my God. Oh, God, be done with it. On it all, my God. Oh, give you and make none. Wait, I know. Oh, wait, I know. Wait, I know. Oh, wait, I know. Wait, I know. Wait, I know.
You worked magic. You brought her in.
Well, I got your
Um,
message, and I'm like, well, you guys can just end the broadcast whenever you want. But I
But
love
we
when I
need
was,
you.
and I'm
I need
so honored.
when I was singing that Spirit Woman song, I was asked to sing that bear song,
Yeah.
and that bear song is one of our healing songs that we have, and I don't know who it is, but I hope whatever it is has helped you a little bit.
Hmm.
And again, like I said, if you want me to help you with that through video chat, I can do that with you as well. And then you this is how we're going to do this. You call Renee at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then she'll call me at 9 in the morning, and then we can go through that process.
You know that they're not calling either of you. They're going to call me. Okay.
Oh, by the way, I should let everybody know too that my phone lines are open from 9 p.m. to 9:05 p.m.
I love you. Oh, this is so good. You're amazing. Neil, I spoke with our friend. You know, you did a lunch circle today, and all I've heard is amazing things. You know, there's a lot of beautiful awakening right now in our communities across the nation, and people finding their way home to their culture, to, you know, their understandings. And I'm just so honored to be a part of all of this and be a part of the relationships and community. And I was just talking with actually Neil, or sorry, not Neil, that's you, Dennis Windigo, you know, preparing for his visit into our community. And it's just wonderful how all of you are just sharing so much of yourself with everyone. So I just want to say thank you, and Yawa, how much I, you know, appreciate you.
No, thank you. Miigwech.
Yawa, have a great night, everyone.
Have a good night, everybody. Be safe. Don't take any wood nickels.
Do they give them out yet?
I don't know. I hope not. They got no value.